Hello guys, welcome back to Defying Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star Part 359 based on novel. So let's start. In the virtual universe, Primal Chaos City Leader and Darkness True God were walking halfway up the peak of Thunder Island, talking with each other. Sue, a being condensed in front of them. Teacher. Both Primal Chaos City Leader and Darkness True God were happily surprised, as it was unusual for them to see Teacher Origin. Teacher Origin, dressed in the white cape, said anxiously, "Go to the primal universe now. The origin of my miniature universe is being swallowed by a sector beast. I'm being suppressed, so I can't guard the origin with my willpower to resist it. I think, after an hour, 80% of my origin will be lost. Then I'll never become a true god of void space." What? Both Primal Chaos City Leader and Darkness True God were terrified. "Okay, we're going now, Teacher." Chaos and Darkness were desperately anxious. Teacher Origin was a being who had risen while the human race was still weak. He had been the first great being in Universe Ocean, and although he was suppressed, he had still created the virtual universe, which greatly helped the humans, and had cultivated many great beings like Huge Axe, Primal Chaos City Leader, Darkness True God, and Ice Mountain Master. Without him, there wouldn't be Chaos, Huge Axe, or Darkness, and Luophone wouldn't have obtained such accomplishments. He had made an incomparable contribution to the human race. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Tell everyone. Go to the primal universe now. Go to the primal universe now. Primal Chaos City Leader immediately gave an order through the virtual universe. The origin of the primal universe doesn't have the willpower of Teacher Origin to guard it, so it's extremely weak. It's being swallowed by the sector beast. Go there now. Go there now. The order was sent. It's swallowing the primal universe of Teacher Origin. Goddamn sector beast. How dare it? God damn it. All the human true gods immediately took off for the primal universe through the universe portal. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Luophone. Luophone, who was guarding the miniature universe of rampaging devil god, immediately took out his communications token. "Teacher," answered Luophone. "Come back now. Come back now." Primal Chaos City Leader transmitted his voice. "The sector beast is swallowing the primal universe of Teacher Origin. Teacher Origin is being suppressed, so he can't guard the origin of the primal universe. It's swallowing the origin very quickly. 80% of the origin of the primal universe will be gone in 1 hour." What? Luophone was shocked. Normally, when a universe was being swallowed, it could last for at least 10 days against the swallowing speed of that sector beast. Was the primal universe that weak? 80% would be gone in only 1 hour? Little did Luophone know that it was very important to have the willpower of the true gods to guard miniature universes. Purple Moon had slowed down the pace of his miniature universe being swallowed to 1/100th because he had guarded it with his willpower. "I'm coming now," said Luophone. "Tell other true gods to stop that sector beast first." Sue. Luophone took back Star Tower and started to teleport to advance by himself. Universe Masters and True Gods had different distances of teleportation, with True Gods being faster. Why could True Gods move farther in teleportation? Because the heart of True God could resist the influence with the origin, so they could sense a more distant spot. The teleportation distance of True Gods of void space was larger than that of True Gods. Luophone's miniature universe was 1,000 times larger than the miniature universes of normal True Gods, almost as large as Purple Moon Holy Land. Under beginning of the origin, its origin was incredible, so his teleportation distance was at the level of a true god of void space. Shua. 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 Luophone kept teleporting. "If I were still a universe master, it would take me 5 days to get back from rampaging devil god. Now, it's just over 1 hour." Luophone was worried sick. Rampaging devil god was from the second universe era, so his miniature universe was not far from the original universe, much closer than the miniature universes of the true gods from the first universe era. However, it might still take him more than an hour, so he couldn't make it in time. Asterisk 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 asterisk. While Luophone was heading back at his fastest speed, Morosa was swallowing the miniature universe nearest to him in the space close to the original universe. It was permeating traces of circuitous light to penetrate the space, devouring the origin. So quick. Without the willpower, the speed is so satisfying. I can't believe I can still have delicious food of this sort before I die. Ha ha ha. Morosa was devouring it with all its energies. Hong. The space around it was clotted. His coming. Morosa was shocked. It immediately separated its body into 99 parts, and they quickly flew in 99 different directions. Don't even run, Sector Beast, said a furious voice. Freeze. Primal Chaos City leader, bathed in golden light, pointed at the Sector Beast, enraged. There was a strange token floating on his palm, which was giving out endless green light, covering an area of several square light years. The great binding power immediately worked on all 99 bodies, gradually slowing them down. Kill it. Peng Gong, true god, roared in anger. Lock. Hua. 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 With him as the center, tens of millions of endless water pillars burst out and extended relentlessly, forming a vast ocean. All of a sudden, 32 of the 99 bodies were covered in the ocean immediately. Even though all those bodies tried to hit the ocean, they weren't able to make their way out. Don't you dare hurt my teacher. Darkness, true god, raised his head and roared. At the same time, the cloak on his back was suddenly enlarged, transforming into endless darkness. It covered all 99 bodies like a dark universe. Don't you dare hurt teacher Origin. Die. Die. There were more than 30 true gods, and all of them were performing every skill they knew, either spiritual weapon binding skills or godly power sweeping from darkness and Peng Gong. Those weaker true gods like Fire Dome and even the true gods from other races in the Hong Alliance all tried their best. They were doing everything in their power to save the most ancient leader of the human race. Gather. The other 98 bodies of the Sector Beast that were fleeing all disappeared, and the only body left turned back to the original body. That move rendered everything that Darkness and Peng Gong did useless. Separate. Sector Beast separated into 99 pieces and tried to flee again. It was fleeing at a rapid pace, but the binding power couldn't be overcome. If there were already domain-type binding valuables in place, any other domain-type valuable would be useless over that. Meanwhile, the Sector Beast was incredibly sly and fast, and it finally made its way out of the army of human true gods. This is crazy. They're acting like crazy. Morosa was scared as it moved through space. It's only been a short while, but under that godly power consumption, 1/3 of my strength is gone. Fortunately, I decided to run immediately. Otherwise, I wouldn't even have had a chance to get away. However, it's not that easy for me to give up. The more intense you get, the more satisfied I am. I am even happy to die. Morosa's eyes gleamed with madness. Su. It teleported and rushed toward the primal universe again. Asterisk 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 asterisk. In the space outside the primal universe, Primal Chaos City leader and other true gods he was leading were all furious. Primal Chaos City leader gave an order, let's stay here and guard the primal universe. After all, it is the more fragile one. If other miniature universes of ours are swallowed afterward, we can still make other plans. Okay, answered all the true gods from other races in the Hong Alliance. Let's follow Primal Chaos City leader. Primal Chaos City leader nodded, but he was still worried. Although they were here, they had their godly power avatars in the primal universe, so they could easily connect to the virtual universe. No. The Sector Beast has started to swallow the primal universe again. It's still swallowing the universe. How dare it come again? Everyone was shocked, but, at the same time, they also received the coordinates of the Sector Beast sent by Teacher Origin. Go! Everyone teleported and dashed toward the Sector Beast. A miniature universe had a diameter of 100 million light-years. Usually, Sector Beasts were able to swallow them from several hundred million light-years away, so even if Sector Beasts randomly chose a place several hundred million light-years away from the miniature universe and began to absorb it, it would take the true gods a while to get there. The Sector Beast swallowed the small universe from one spot for only 10 seconds at a time, and then it would immediately teleport and flee to a more distant spot and swallow the miniature universe for another 10 seconds. Primal Chaos City leader and the other true gods were being made to look like fools. Separate now and separate into 10 different teams, Primal Chaos City leader ordered. That sector beast is obviously weaker than the one last time. Scatter into 10 teams. Even though we can't kill it, we can at least banish it. Okay. Immediately, they were divided into 10 different teams, surrounding the primal universe in different locations. By doing so, the team closest would be able to get to the sector beast in several seconds once they located it, forcing it to flee. However, now that they were separated into 10 teams, none of the teams would be able to kill or even severely injure the sector beast. It was madness. Sector beast Morosa had gone completely mad. It had no intention of fighting any true god, and once it ran into one, it would fly away, then come back and keep swallowing. It had its sights on the primal universe. It was only able to swallow it for 1 or 2 seconds at a time, but it was determined to destroy the primal universe. A message arrived. Where is the sector beast, teacher? Finally, you have come back, Luo Feng. Primal Chaos City leader was exhilarated, and he immediately sent a message to Luo Feng. It's at. Although he was one of the 8 great overlords and it was easy for him to defeat a sector beast, it was almost impossible for him to kill one. In the space surrounding the primal universe, Luo Feng, clothed in a white cape, stepped forward. After he confirmed the coordinates, he turned around with his eyes looking aloof. That's where it is. Su. Luo Feng took a step and teleported. He was able to teleport much farther than other true gods. Although the sector beast was also able to teleport farther than other true gods, it was still a shorter distance than Luo Feng. You've finally come, said Morosa. Get in. Luo Feng reached out his hands, and a tower flew out of his palm. It was Star Tower. Star Tower immediately flew to the sky, giving out endless gleaming light. There was an endless dark whirlpool at the base of the tower that covered an area of several square light years, extending toward the sector beast Morosa in the distance. Before this whirlpool, Morosa felt incredibly weak. It wasn't able to resist it in the slightest. It was immediately swallowed by the endless darkness at the base of Star Tower. Luo Feng is here. Milky Way Horde leader is dealing with that sector beast. Teacher is here. The true gods scattering around the primal universe knew that Luo Feng had arrived, so they all gathered toward where the sector beast was staying immediately. All the beings teleported and arrived there, arriving at the outer area where the space was condensed. After all, the fighting area was completely sealed, so they couldn't teleport in there. Look. Primal Chaos City leader and Darkness True God all looked in the same direction. The giant star tower gave out endless gleaming light. It was like a lighthouse in the dark. The power let out from its base covered an area of several square light years, forming an endless, dark whirlpool. The endless, dark whirlpool immediately shrank. As for Sector Beast Morosa, it was being swallowed by the whirlpool. Impossible. Morosa struggled to get out. The power of that black whirlpool was too strong. Even if Morosa gathered all its power, it wasn't able to resist it, let alone separate its body. Break. It kept yelling. There was bloody light all over its body. Its power surged as it struggled to get out of the dark whirlpool. However, no matter how it performed its bloody light technique, it wasn't able to get away. How? Last time, even the combination of Star Tower and space and time binding weren't able to trap me. Morosa found it hard to believe. I am now weaker, but how can Star Tower alone be able to capture me? Morosa couldn't believe what was happening, but it was of no use. Su. The ferocious and ugly sector beast Morosa was sucked into the abyss at the base of Star Tower. Everything went back to peace, and the dark whirlpool also disappeared. Star Tower, which was emitting a gleaming light, also flew back to the palm of Luo Feng. ******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** God, Penggong True God, Fire Dome, and the others were all amazed. They knew exactly how difficult it was to deal with the Sector Beast, especially after the Sector Beast performed the Bloodlight skill. Even Primal Chaos City Leader wasn't able to trap it. Incredible. He suppressed that Sector Beast so easily. Milky Way Horde Leader is much more powerful than before. He's definitely the most powerful true god Universe Ocean has ever seen. Thoughts flooded the true gods' minds. Little did they know the powerful true gods in Universe Ocean, like Divine Eye True Master, were only able to create techniques at top-tier level 9. And with Supreme True Treasures, they were able to attain techniques at top-tier level 10. However, when Luofeng was comprehending the evolution of chaos, he was able to create top-tier level 10 techniques, and when he was patrolling against the Sector Beasts, he absorbed the comprehension he had during that time aside from exploiting the potential his body had, so his power had reached a new peak. Star Tower, given to me by teacher sitting mountain guest, is indeed incredible, exclaimed Luofeng as he took a look at Star Tower in his hand. Star Tower might have been even more precious than Wu Chi God. He just hadn't figured out how valuable it actually was. Luofeng. Milky Way. Teacher. Everyone flew toward Luofeng. They all looked relaxed. Primal Chaos City Leader was smiling. Haha. After becoming a true god, your power has been greatly improved. I've tried everything in my power against that Sector Beast, yet I still failed to capture and kill him. However, you captured it easily. It's more difficult to kill a Sector Beast than to defeat one, said Luofeng. It's harder to capture one alive, added Darkness True God. All the true gods were talking calmly. Everyone was laughing. Apparently, Luofeng capturing the Sector Beast alive had left everyone in a fantastic mood. They could also infer just how exceptional Luofeng was now that he had become a true god. After all, Luofeng had only displayed a fraction of his power in that battle. Let's go back, said Primal Chaos City Leader. You guys can go first. I'll trap this Sector Beast in Star Tower, said Luofeng. I'm going to question it to get some information. The issue about Sector Beasts is very important. All the other true gods nodded. Asterisk 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 asterisk. The true gods from the human race left one by one while Luofeng went back to his miniature universe in Star Tower. After all, he was able to utilize his maximum power with his origin inside his miniature universe. Inside the tower, in one of the suppression spaces, the ferocious and ugly Sector Beast Morosa stood on the ground. There was an invisible yet powerful force suppressing it. It appeared to be at peace as it waited there in silence. Sector Beast, a white-caped being said as it showed up. He was stepping on the space, and he landed on the ground afterward. Milky Way Horde Leader, Morosa glared at Luofeng. Luofeng. Sector Beast, you, said Luofeng. Call me Morosa. Morosa raised both its heads. You're qualified to call me by my name. Luofeng smirked. Okay, Morosa. Morosa nodded. Out of all the great beings in Universe Ocean, you're the only one I admire. You're indeed powerful beyond imagination. Even if I were still at level 3, I still would have been swallowed by this Star Tower of yours. Luofeng raised his eyebrows. He knew about Star Tower. Of course. Some true gods had turned to Morosa, so it shouldn't have been a surprise that Morosa knew about Star Tower. Unfortunately, you've come back much too soon. Morosa shook its head. I assumed that you were still guarding one of the miniature universes of a true god from the first or second universe era, and that it would take you several days to come back. I tried to swallow the origin of the primal universe. Without a guard for the willpower of that teacher origin, I would have been able to swallow half of the origin in several days, even if all the human true gods had tried to stop me. And then this teacher origin of your human race would never have stood a chance to make a breakthrough. But I didn't expect you to come back this soon. Luofeng nodded. Morosa's plan was sensible. By swallowing the primal universe several seconds at a time, it would be able to absorb over half of the origin of the primal universe. However, Morosa hadn't expected Luofeng to be able to teleport as far as a true god of void space, which was why he had arrived after only an hour. Morosa hadn't even been able to swallow 10% of the origin of the primal universe. I'll be thrilled if I can avenge myself, but I don't care if I fail. Morosa gazed at Luo Feng. I'm only a sector beast at level 2. A true catastrophe is coming for you, the human race, and all the others. Ha ha ha. With insane, ear-piercing laughter, Morosa suddenly attempted to self-destruct. Wang, wang, wang. All of a sudden, 3 levels of power arrived at Morosa. The first level of power was single thought void space from Shi Wu Wing. The second level of power was the suppression from the ceiling space from Star Tower. And the third level came from the power of the origin of Luo Feng's miniature universe. All 3 levels of power were suppressing Morosa so that it wasn't even able to self-destruct. What? Morosa stared at Luo Feng. Luo Feng smirked. When an undying fighter met a universe knight, he wouldn't be able to self-destruct. That was due to the absolute power gap. And now, Morosa, who was only at pinnacle level 2, wasn't able to self-destruct before Luo Feng, either. You're indeed much more powerful than before if you can even stop me from self-destructing. Morosa was enraged. If Luo Feng had been using godly power, Morosa would have tried to neutralize it. However, of the powers that Luo Feng was using now, single thought void space, the ceiling space of Star Tower, and the origin, none utilized godly power, so Morosa couldn't even fight it. You're not going to die now, said Luo Feng. Truthfully, it was difficult to suppress someone so that they couldn't self-destruct. If Luo Feng had remained outside without the origin of the miniature universe and the ceiling space of Star Tower, he wouldn't have been able to do that. Star Tower was a mysterious valuable. Aside from the attack techniques, its major function was suppression. If someone was trapped in Star Tower, it would be difficult for them to die. This made Luo Feng doubt where Star Tower was actually from. He no longer believed that Sitting Mountain Guest had created Star Tower himself and that a trace of golden light had flown into the valuable and changed it qualitatively. There was no way it was a coincidence. There was no way that a trace of golden light flying in could have sculpted such advanced techniques on it. Even Luo Feng wasn't able to figure out some of the engravings on Star Tower. And based on the connection between Sitting Mountain Guest and the world of Jin, Luo Feng believed that Star Tower might have belonged to a supreme being from Jin country, a valuable perhaps left by His Majesty the godly king of Jin or one of his supreme beings. Asterisk 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 asterisk. It's no use. I can't blow myself up. Morosa smirked. Do you really think that trapping me means the ultimate king of sector beasts won't be born? Luo Feng smiled. That's exactly what I mean to accomplish. According to the original mind, the sector beasts would try to kill and swallow each other until only one was left. The final one would be the king of sector beasts. If Luo Feng suppressed and trapped a sector beast so that the others weren't able to kill it, even if all the other sector beasts swallowed each other and a final one survived that was so powerful even Luo Feng couldn't rival it, no sector beast wouldn't be able to kill Morosa. Then there wouldn't be any king of the sector beasts. And if there wasn't a king of the sector beasts, there would be a chance to turn things around. You're wrong, said Morosa. Even if I can't self-destruct, I'll have to fight the final sector beast. Otherwise, I'll die. This is our fate, and you won't be able to do anything about it. Morosa had to do battle. It seemed that it wasn't a coincidence that the ultimate king was always born. You look so confident, said Luo Feng. Are you really that powerful? Of course, said Morosa. It's so easy for us to annihilate all the races in Universe Ocean. Even the original universe will have to destroy itself. But I can tell from you that sector beasts are very weak, said Luo Feng. Morosa glanced at Luo Feng. If you want to tempt me to tell you about sector beasts, don't try to disguise it. Just ask me. Okay. Luo Feng nodded. Tell me, how many sector beasts are there in the sector beast hive, and how powerful are they? Do you really think I'll tell you? Morosa's eyes were glaring at Luo Feng. I can't believe you're this stupid. Luo Feng frowned. You're such a moron. Morosa raised his head and guffawed. You want to kill me? Are you angry? Want to kill me? Come at me. Not cooperating? Luo Feng shook his head. If I can make you my slave, you'll have to follow me. Luo Feng pointed, and a beam of triangular light flew out of his finger, flying toward Morosa. Morosa wanted to dodge it, But he wasn't able to. The triangular light sank into his chest. Like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.